some wonderful windows from church. Some of them had some testimonies on them, some of them had scripture on them, and then there were a couple that were just empty and plain. So I am going to go ahead and create some beautiful items to sell at the craft show. So right now I'm just going to take my goof off. I'm in the garage. I have my blade. I am going to clean off the letters that are on here. I hate doing it because I know that these testimonies are wonderful. I might just keep the scripture that's on there, but I'm going to go ahead and clean off some of the other items. As you can see, this is actually coming off quite easy just with the blade, and then I'll come on over with some Goo Gone, clean off the residue, then clean it with some Windex. Now these windows have already been sanded down, and there's a little bit of the uniqueness of the old windows on there, and that's awesome, and that's what we want. It's very easy to lift this off. This is, I believe this was just done with a Cricut, and now, it's pretty simple to get off from here. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and I'll be back. So once I've got the letters scraped off, I went ahead and sprayed down with some Goof Off to help remove the adhesive that is still on the windows. And you can see there is a little there. You can see it on the glass here. You can actually read part of it. With the Goo Gone on there, the Goof Off, I'm going to just scrape with my scraper, and that is going to just help lift all. You can see that chemical on there, just releasing it. I'm just going to go over the whole window. Now these weren't dumped out of the church easily, because we actually sold our church building and we're getting ready to move into what God has planned for us. And so we're in the process of all of our stuff being held up in storage as God prepares our new property. I'm just going to take some paper towels and I'm going to clean the chemical off of it. I'm just going to wipe the chemical off of those window panes. Now you can use gloves if you like. Well, look at that. I got some more character. That's what happens with these windows. And now I'll come in with my window cleaner and clean each pane. I don't think you want to watch me do that, but I will just use some regular old window glass cleaner. Spray it on and clean it off. So once I get these windows done, I have 3 here, I will get back with you. So I apologize for the angle, but these aren't finished. But while the highlights are drying on my little cutouts, and I'm going to place Dream up there in the corner, I want to get the snow drifts on the windows. So to do that, I'm using some of my Snow White Waverly chalk paint, and I'll do a little bit of highlights with some plaster. I've got a little bit here on my plate already, and so I am just going to come in with just this big brush, and I'm going to just get some in those window corners, make it look like a snowdrift. So as I'm going across these glass panes, I'm going to fill in what I can with this Snow White chalk paint, and I'm just going to use the end of my brush here, and I'm just going to dab it and put some texture on those panes and let it dry. This part is pretty simple. I mean, it's just some dabbing of the paint. You don't have to be a fine artist. Just get it on there and make it look like it has just been slopped up against the side as the wind blows your snow around. So here I have some wooden letters that I have gotten from the Dollar Tree. I've had these down in my stash for some time. Each package only has one of each letter. So in order for me to spell out peace on earth, I actually needed 3 packs of these to go through. I just saved the rest of them and put them in a bag. I picked out some chalk paint. I have mineral and I have moss. I'm going to go ahead and come through and paint all of the letters in mineral first and get that dried on there. And that actually matches the ornaments that are down at the bottom there. I got those after Christmas off Amazon. There were 30 in a pack for $9, and they really set the tone of this window. It just turned out beautiful. The ornaments were a very good deal because they are actually wooden and they're already painted, so I can use them in so many different projects. It was like a no-brainer for me to use it on this window. It was perfect. Now, after making sure that all of them are covered evenly, I'm coming back in with that green, and you can see I'm just putting it on the bottom of these letters so that it looks like it's an ombre from the top to the bottom, and I just put a little bit on there. Then I came back in with my ivory. I didn't want to go with Snow White because those ornaments were not Snow White. So I came in with the ivory chalk paint and I put it across the tops of those letters to make it look like snow. Now talk about digging into your stash. The bottle brush trees are from Christmases. I don't know how long ago. I've had them down in my stash. And then there are those little moss rocks that I used to put together a tree scene a few years ago. I'll attach that video below. And I just took that apart. It was one of those Christmas in Julys, just throwing things together. And I used those to make a tree scene. Here I'm just taking that apart so I can reuse what I already had. I'm cutting those little foam blocks down with the moss on them and using it as little hills to actually hot glue those tree bases on. Now I'm trimming the backs of the trees so that it will sit more flat against the window pane and not cause some bulging of those trees. Now continuing with not wanting to waste anything, I just scooped up what I had trimmed off the trees and the moss, and I'm using that to actually glue around the bases of those trees so that they don't look like they are actually wood discs and the trees are standing on, but that it looks like it has the moss on there. I went ahead and spaced out the letters and getting ready to finish the bottom. Here is some regular moss I had for years. Once again, down there, it probably was an old Walmart bag because it wasn't a Dollar Tree bag. I'm cutting the foam pieces down a little bit more so that those ornaments have a little bit of depth against that glass. And then I'm using the moss to glue around the bottoms to give more definition of the ground where these are actually supposed to be sitting. So after putting all these on here, I wanted it to look like that truck was driving away after getting their tree. Maybe they built a snowman while they were out tree hunting for Christmas, and the elk in the center there just watching as they go away. After I get all the moss on there, I did add some artificial snow. Now I make my own artificial snow out of old white grocery bags, the plastic grocery bags. I take and I shred them up with scissors. You can run them through your shredder if that's what you want to do, if you have one that will shred it enough for you. Otherwise, I just take my scissors and I cut it down, and it just makes this wonderful plastic snow. Well, there you are, guys. There is my old recycled window, Peace on Earth. This is January 2024 for my 12 months of Christmas. And so this is a perfect scene that you can put out for your Christmas. You see the mess of my crafting behind me. I'm so sorry. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, I hope that you will consider doing so now by hitting that subscribe button. As always, guys, stay safe, God bless, and bye for now.